Hello, it's Pappy with MiniAirboatAssociation.com. I wanted to put this video together to revisit some of the things I talked about on the last two videos. One small thing I want to cover with the John boats, again, is the center of gravity. With the John boat and them being narrow on the bottom causes a problem with center of gravity. When you put an airboat motor on them, you have the prop, and the prop has to clear the transom, so you have to raise the motor a certain amount to make sure the prop clears to have the maximum thrust. Raising the motor causes the center of gravity to raise also, and makes the boat unstable because of the width of the bottom. So that's another reason we don't really think using a John boat hull as an airboat is a good idea. Okay, the next thing I want to cover is a little bit more is the chines. You have the hard chine with the sharp corner, and then you have the soft chine, which has the rounded corner, and the reverse chine, which has a cut. The reverse chine is what you'll find on most of the manufactured boats. They're pretty easy to use. The reverse chine works pretty well. There's really no negatives about it. The soft chine with the rounded corner has the least performance, I think. With the rounded chine, you don't have anything there to catch when you're going around the corner. It'll want to slide, so you have to slow down quite a bit in a turn with a soft chine to get it to catch the water and turn. With the hard chine, it's the same deal as here. You have to slow down a little bit in the corner in order to drop this edge in the water so it turns a little better and doesn't slide out on you. The hard chine is still a little bit better than the soft chine, but the reverse chine is much better. If you never drove a chine boat and you start off with a hard chine boat, you probably would never know the difference because you get used to running the boat a certain way, and that's how you run it. But the soft chine boat, that requires a little bit of a skill, and you have to be on top of it all the time. Cornering with the soft chine boat is a little harder than both of these. My preference would be a hard chine because they plane better and they're a faster haul. The next thing is I want to go over a little bit more is the weight distribution. As I mentioned in the last video, if you have a shorter boat, you're trying to get more of the weight spread over a smaller area. Like I mentioned before, your seats, if you put two seats in it, you're trying to spread this out in a smaller area. You put your battery in and your gas tank. And since you have all this stuff in a smaller area, your boat is going to run deeper in the water. Okay, now if you take the same things and put them on a longer boat, can spread out your battery and your gas tank over more of an area, and since you have a longer haul and more surface area, your boat's not going to sit as low in the water. So depending on what your plans are for your boat, a longer haul may be a better choice for you. The number one enemy of a mini airboat is weight. You only have so much horsepower, so much thrust to get your boat on plane, so you want to save as much weight as possible. You can start by using lighter weight materials such as aluminum that we use. My favorite saying on saving weight is, if you don't have to have it, don't put it on. A lot of guys build their boat and they want to get fancy. They want to put a lot of stuff on that you don't really need. A big console, and maybe a big junction box for your electronics, shrouds, things like that, all add to the weight of the boat. You want to keep that as minimal as possible. Many airboats really are a cheaper way to get into airboating and still have fun. You can build a mini airboat hull on a strict budget. You just have to use the minimal accessories on it. The ways to cut the cost of a mini airboat hull are using angle iron. The ways to cut cost on building a hull is using aluminum angle for the top of your gunnels. They make a fancy P-channel. That's 4 or 5 times the cost of the angle to put that fancy P-channel on. The P-channel also adds a little bit of weight. Another thing is rudders. You can put a cheaper rudder on using a flat piece of aluminum, or build the airfoil rudders. That may add a little bit of weight hanging off the back of the boat. There's all different ways we can save weight, like the battery. Get the smallest battery that you can get away with. Now, I can't get away with a smaller battery because I fish a lot out on my boat and run my boat at night, so I have to have a battery on there that's capable of lighting my lights at night that I need to use while anchored. That pretty much covers what I can do here at the chalkboard. Let's get outside and look at a boat, and I'll explain some things on the boat. Till next time, keep sliding.